Dr. ENQI incarnate as the true and living soul of Osiris. It's been 4,000 years since you learned true knowledge yourself, since you learned real black history. Find out the secrets of your soul, how you are being colonized. Take back your history. Create your future.
Yeah, y'all know what time it is. I had to dip in the telephone booth and get my Superman suit together.
Hi, my name is Osiris. Freemasonry is the largest and most successful fraternity on earth, and it's black. If we are going to celebrate anything during Black History Month, it should be Freemasonry. Celebrate by learning true black history and transforming your body with Dr. ENQI's 120-day challenge. Dr. ENQI's groundbreaking research has been backed by Harvard and now the National Library of Medicine. This is Freemasonry at its finest. Remember, before there was a Dr. Sebi or Dr. ENQI, there was an Imhotep. Go to Amazon and get your copy now.
Baby girl, it's on. Baby girl, it's on. All right, we got to get busy, man. We got to get busy, family. We got to get busy. Listen. With all due respect, and I have to put some respect on my brother Sharif Bey's name. Okay. With all due respect to my brother Sharif Bey. Right? Because I, you know, me and the brothers doing some good stuff over there with the New York Perspective talk show, right? But I cannot stand by and allow the genocide thing to go on.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe. They've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues. I've got great working relationships already in D.C. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building my political resume so that one of us, somebody who thinks like we do, could get into D.C. and make a difference. I want you to visit aliforcongress.com to find out more about my campaign. The Democrats have already done enough, and now they're putting illegal aliens in front of people like you and me, folks whose ancestors built this country and made it what it is today. So again, I'm asking you to support me in my run for U.S. House District 12 here in North Carolina. You don't have to live in North Carolina to support, because what happens in Congress affects the entire country. So again, it's aliforcongress.com. I hope to have your support. Peace and love, y'all.
All right, now listen. This is coming from somebody, right? This is coming from somebody very proud to have been, I guess, a early fan of KRS-ONE. My best friend when I was a kid, his grandma, Miss Johnson, she ran the shelter where he was at. So she was the one who looked the other way and allowed them to do all the things that they weren't supposed to be doing in the shelter, you know, so that he could, you know, do what he had to do to get his music ready and you know, be who he is. Right. And they would always give her, you know, as a token of thanks. They didn't have much else at the time. You understand what I'm saying? So they would give her as a token of thanks the cassette tapes. And she would bring them home, give them to Mandel, and yeah, we'd be bumping them joints while we playing video games, you know what I'm saying, early on. And nobody knew at that time who he was or what he was going to be. It was just fire to us. So we, you know, we promoted it. We loved it. You know, yeah, we loved it. We loved him. You know, he represented the Bronx. And then, of course, fast forward, the bridge is over. Like, so, you know, this is, like I said, respect to the brother, Sharif Bey. I think he is one of the best examples of a Moor, if you will. You know, so I want to put some respect on his name before I proceed. But overall, I think the Moorish Americans are participating in Black genocide. And the constant attacks and the constant disrespect from the Moorish American you know, hierarchy towards Elijah Muhammad and Farad Muhammad, it doesn't serve any purpose, right? So what we're going to do right now is hopefully put out an antidote to the poison that comes from all of these Moorish guys that seem to be, and at first, I'm going to be honest, I thought that a lot of these guys were functionally illiterate. And I mean that with all due respect. I thought a lot of these guys were functionally illiterate. So they didn't know what they were saying, right? But now that it's got to the point where they got KRS-ONE out there as some type of point man, where he is now spewing this foolishness. We have to have this conversation, right? What is it that I'm talking about specifically? We almost 10 minutes into the video. We don't understand what you're saying yet, Doc. You know exactly what I'm saying. The Moorish American slogan. You know what the Moors say. Oh, I'm not black. You're not black. And then they take something like their hand, right? They'll use their hand, or they'll say my skin, and then they'll put it next to something black. Like, look at ENQI's hat. His hat is black, and it clearly does not match his skin color. So ENQI is not black. We're not crayons, and blah, blah, blah. We listen to Taj Tariq Bey sound half illiterate saying it. All of his minions. This guy, and we're going to walk through it. So I know some of them will be emotional within the first few minutes of this video, and they won't make it through. What I'm hoping is that there are those amongst you that will not be emotional, that will watch 30, 40 minutes of this video and get some good sense into your brain, and hopefully take that to your higher ups. Because I could tell you right now for a fact, I took one look at the quote unquote Supreme Chief, bruh, the Supreme Chief Moorish. Let's review this. Let's take a quick little review over here real quick, because we're doing reaction to this video. We're doing reaction to this video. So let's pull up the video in question. And there's another video that goes along with it. So we're going to pull that video up as well so that we could see what we're talking about. Let's take a look at what we're talking about. Okay. So let's, matter of fact, we could just start with disrespect. We can start with the disrespect. And it's not blatant. It's just snide, catty, you know, but when you position yourself in a way, you can't look like this. You can't look like this, because I'm gonna show you before this video is done that scientifically these guys are illiterate. Period. And so this is why you should not listen to any foolishness like this. Okay, we got to stop this. We have to stop this. Let's take a look at this. Now, this is first of all, before we even go into it, the guy that's interviewing, right? There's a black guy that's sitting down and he's interviewing the high chief captain of the Moorish American Temple, right? He is actually the interviewer from Vice. I don't know if y'all know about that platform or that show, but Vice is like Vlad from Vlad TV, but the only difference with Vice is Vice points out, you know, they go all over the place to point out like vices, sin, fraud, ignorance, right? So Vice is not even something that I would look forward to be interviewed on. Like I wouldn't be thinking, oh, I would love to get an opportunity for Vice to interview me, because I know if Vice is interviewing you, they're interviewing you for a reason. That could just be my opinion based on what I know of Vice, the platform, right? Because when I see Vice, they show, like I saw one time, they showed a black college professor that was also a heroin addict. Or they showed a black community out there in Africa where they're in poverty and they got like steal fish to feed their kids, but some of them is drug addicts. Like, so I don't see, I don't know. I'm just saying that's my opinion of Vice. You know, they show the rappers and they show all the rappers, you know, they on lean, you know, they a heroin addict. Like I don't know Vice to put black people in a positive light, or Moorish people, you know, whatever they want to call themselves for now, right? But this is important that we deal with this because, and I'm telling you, this is personal for me. Because this is what I battle up against. All of these people that say that race doesn't exist, it's just a construct. People are not crayons, right? All of these things. But guess what? As they're saying that, you know who they learned that from? They learned that from white folks. They learned that from white folks. While guess what? Our people, the black people, you know, the ones that don't want to be black, the brown people, the light-skinned people, you know, the ones that, you know, we pretending, you know, we're not black. That's not us. Right? Guess what? You're leading the world in cancer. Every form of it, catching it and dying from it. And the number one reason is because you either are denying you're black or you don't want to be black. Or you're telling yourself, you know, you're delusional, or you're following somebody who's delusional. Now, when we look at this guy who's the leader of this community of telling black people that they're not black, he's about 300-400 pounds. And I'm going to tell you that the reason why he's so overweight and obviously sick is because he don't think he black. He don't even know what black is. He telling you black is a crayon color. Before this video is over, though, you're going to know what it is. And you're going to know that the guys he was disrespecting, Elijah Muhammad and Farad Muhammad. I'm not Nation of Islam by any stretch of the imagination, just so we put that on the record. But when it comes to this subject, Farad Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad was all wise, right, and exact. It said it's two germs, a black germ and a brown germ. So yes, while you may be correct that there is no such thing as white people, you are absolutely incorrect when you say there's no such a thing as black people. Now let's check this guy out. These guys.
Our people.
You're exactly right.
And one of them was the Nation of Islam.
Of course, it should be common knowledge. I mean, we've sent out the list of who paid their per capita tax in Detroit, Temple number 4, Elijah, Poole Bay and his brothers and his wife, and even the Light Olive Moon, what's his name? The salesman.
Farad Muhammad.
And even the Light Olive Moon, what's his name? The salesman.
Farad Muhammad.
Yeah, him. He's on.
Now listen. You cannot try to denigrate or belittle Farad Muhammad because he was a salesman. When Noble Drew Ali had what, a 10-year-old wife as a traveling circus gypsy. Now, come on now. Don't do that. Noble Drew Ali's background is just as bad as anybody else that was trying to come out of the neighborhood and do something positive, blah, 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 blah. So there's all kinds of stories floating around about who Noble Drew Ali was before he founded the Moorish. So don't, all that gotta stop. Especially when you literally sitting there with like, bruh, you don't even need an outfit to be Santa Claus. Come on now. Now let's just go from there. Let's just click off of this. Let's click off of this, and let's just deal with the main point. Let's just get right to it, because I'm starting to get animated, and I don't want to do that.
Learning about black, white, red, yellow in a colonial society, your very vision doesn't even see the slope. Let me give you an example here. The example is this. Look at this. You see this? This is the color black. This. When I put my hand up against it, it don't match. Okay? It don't match. Take a look at me. And take a look at mine. Okay? Now this is talking about thinking.
Is he correct? Look, I'm dark. Right? But look at my hat and look at me. My hat is black. And look at my hand. It don't match. My hand don't match. Look at my hand. It don't match. How come he didn't, if he selected a body part, right? How come he didn't select his eye? How come he didn't select his eye, right? His iris. How come he didn't select his iris and put his iris next to the blanket and see if it matched? How come he didn't select his eyebrow and put it next to the blanket and see if it matched? How come he didn't select his hair and put it next to the blanket and see if it matched? You know why? Because it doesn't suit the narrative. It doesn't suit the narrative. You see, what you got to ask yourself is a couple of questions. Do they actually know what nationality is? Right? Do they know what nationality is? Moors, if you watch this video, please tell me. Please tell me. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Make a video, tell the truth. Expose Dr. ENQI. Debunk Dr. ENQI. Tell me that when you entered the Moorish Science Temple of America, you took a blood test so that they could run DNA tests and see what your actual genetic background is. Come on, Moors. Tell the truth. Or did you just sign up your name and pay $25 a month or $10 a month or $50 a month? So what is this nationality they talking about? What is it based on? Is it based on paying a monthly dues? Making donations every month? Can anybody just walk right into the Moorish Science Temple of America, sign up, pay dues, and then they got nationality? They Moorish too. Come on now. No. I don't want y'all working out. I want y'all paying attention. I don't want y'all working out, doing no study, none of that right now. I want y'all paying attention. Balancing your interests. So you never have to save face. Because what I'm looking at right now is quite possibly the longest running race hustler scam in America to date. Over 100 years, this scam has been running. Over 100 years. You know what else has been happening that 100 years? The death toll from diabetes has been going up. Because while you may not know that you black, diabetes knows exactly who's black. Diabetes knows exactly who's black out here. Diabetes knows exactly who's black. This is what you call, and I'm writing it down as I say it. I just thought of it. This is what you call the epitome of surface level research. Listen to what I'm saying. SLR, surface level research. Surface level research. You see, they research stopped right there at the skin. They research stopped right at the surface of the skin. This is literally the epitome of surface level research, and this is what we're up against. I just took 8 hours. I just spent 8 hours showing you that there's a difference in European versus the quote-unquote black people's mitochondria, their hormones, their muscle fibers. While these guys get to tell you that there's no such a thing as that. All you got to do is pull up the cancer numbers. All you got to do is pull up the heart disease numbers. These numbers have nothing to do with education level, nothing to do with socioeconomic status, everything to do with your genetics. So there is no way that in 2024, somebody that is clearly on medication or in need of medication gets to tell you pseudo genetic information and sit back like, oh yeah, well, you know, what's that guy name? The salesman? Who? Blimpy? Who are you familiar with as the salesman? Because clearly, whatever salesman you dealing with selling you, huh? Nah. See, it's 2024. We're not getting ready to play none of these middle of the road games. All these middle of the road games where you say something that sounds like it agrees with both parties so that way everybody can get along, that's getting black folks dead. We don't need that no more. That may have served this purpose 80 years ago or 50 years ago. That's getting us dead. And the problem is not the quote unquote white man. This guy is not white. I just showed you the clip. I showed you 3 people. Sergeant Braswell, the interviewer from Vice, and KRS-ONE. All 3 of those are black men. All 3 of those are black men that are misleading the next generation into what? Right into Big Pharma's hands. So as these same guys tell you, oh, you know, Big Pharma and corporate this and that, and you've been colonized and blah, 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 blah. Ask yourself the #1 question. Why is it that these Moors, right, when they tell you, oh, look up the word black. Look up the word black. See what it means. The word black means death. And it means, you know, civil little mortus. And, you know, blah, 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 blah. How come they never use the Latin term? How come they never do that? They are supposed to be Moroccan-ish, right? Because that's what Moor-ish means, unless nobody knows what the suffix ish means. Are y'all Moors or Moor-ish? Are you Moors or Moor-ish? Like, you know, you almost Moors. You know, like mix. Moors or Moor-ish? Are you Moroccan or Moroccan-ish? Are you AMEXEM-ish? Like, what are y'all doing? Because ish is not a real thing. That's why the Bible says, if you lukewarm, I spit you out. And don't make me go get the Moorish American lessons, because I got them in there. I'll walk you through what Noble Drew Ali was really saying. We might have to do that again. So ask yourself why they never, when they pulling up these definitions, how come it is that they only use the oppressor's language, the colonizer's language? Colonizer is the European, the white man, blah, 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 blah. Well, how come it is that the European or the white man is the only person able to provide acceptable source material or references for these guys? Why don't you go into the Latin? The Latin is supposed to be the language of the Moors. I'm going to show you right now why they don't go into the Latin. See, this is ether right here. This is ether. I'm going to show you right now why they don't go into the Latin. Here's what the Latin going to say. This is why they don't go into Latin. They go into English. They go, oh, the black means this and black means that. Watch this, what happens when they go into the Latin. Watch what happens when they go into the Latin. This is what happens when they go into the Latin. What does that say? Moreno. Moreno. Okay? So this, we're not playing word games. Moreno. Let's all say that word together. Moreno. If you from New York, you should be familiar with that term. I'm 47. I grew up here in Moreno long before. In fact, Moreno was probably the single word that encouraged me to learn Spanish. At least Puerto Rican Spanish. You know, I didn't know there was such a thing as Puerto Rican, Mexican, this, Portuguese, blah, 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 until I left New York, right? But at least to understand the Spanish floating around me in New York, I want to say Moreno and maricón probably had the two most influences on me, those two words. So now, if we go into Moreno, what is that? What does that mean right there? Spanish, Portuguese, and Jewish. Nickname for somebody with dark hair and or swarthy complexion. Swarthy. Swarthy complexion. Interesting. Swarthy complexion. Okay. So clearly this is where we get crazy at. Right here with the word swarthy. Because they're very specific on what they're saying. Black or dark hair and or a swarthy complexion, right? Swarthy complexion. Now, come on now. It's from Spanish and the Portuguese moreno, which means dark, brown, or swarthy, or dark-skinned, dark-haired, from late Latin morenus, a derivative of classical Latin mortis, more. I'm sorry, what is that last? What is this last part right here? What is that right there? I'm sorry, what does that say? From the what? A derivative of classical Latin, mortis, more. This is going to be a short video. We almost finished. Hey, listen, this video almost over. We're going to be done with this "we're not black" thing very shortly. Okay, now, let's go over this again. Moreno, Spanish, Portuguese, Jewish, nickname for someone with dark hair and or a swarthy complexion. From Spanish and Portuguese, moreno, dark, brown, swarthy, dark-skinned, dark hair. From late Latin, morenus, a derivative of classical Latin, mortis, more. Now, dark skin. Now listen, I'm going to tell you, you see my complexion, right? You see my complexion? So I can tell you that I know what dark skinned is. But I'm going to assume that nobody knows what dark skinned is. And I'm going to strictly go by the definitions provided, which means dark skin is to have a swarthy complexion. So now let's go ahead and look at swarthy. Right? Let's look at swarthy. Swarthy. Dark colored, dark colored. Tawny. Especially in reference to what? What does that say? Especially in reference to skin. Especially in reference to skin. An unexplained alteration of swarthy. From swart plus the W, related to swarthiness. A swarthiness is attested from the 1520s, also from the 1580s. Now, are you ready for the root? Are you ready for the root? Let's go ahead and end this. Swart. Old English. Swart. What does that say? What does that say right there? Huh? What is the definition of a swarthy complexion if we go from the Latin?
It ain't no fun when a rabbit got the gun, you heard?
Faith and love, love and faith, faith and love, love.
Now, do you see how they're playing mind games? Do you see how they're counting on your ignorance? They're counting on your ignorance. This is why they don't use the Latin, their own language. If they Moorish from Mauritania and the Spain and all this and all that, and their original cultural language is the Latin, why is it that they always using English as the source? The English people, the white, the Europeans, they're supposed to be the colonizers. How come you using your colonizer as source material every time? See, I don't subscribe to that. The white man science and all this and that kind of foolishness. But these guys teach this. So why is it that you keep using the English as your source material? And what happens when you trace back the Latin? Hell, what happens when you trace back the English? A swarthy complexion means to be black. Yeah, see, when that popped up on the screen, a few of those niggas that was watching tuned right out. Yeah. Now they got to deal with that. I'm not going to let them off. I'm not going to let them off of that. And it makes sure that it's clear. Black being dark of hue. So now, do they put all of their negative stuff on there? Wicked, infamous, blah, 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 blah. Absolutely. Why? Because at the time when their language was coming into existence, they were at war with the black people. So, of course, everything that represented black people to them at the time was evil, wicked, blah, 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 blah. They were the ops. Let's put these things into real perspective. Let's add real life in. Of course, when Crips and Bloods are going at it, Crips are not saying nice things about the Blood. Oh my God, we're going to go ahead and drive by in their neighborhood because, they're such elegant people and they got really good lessons and, they've got a high moral standard. That's not what the fuck they saying. They're saying, they're saying the things that they need to say to create the psyche in their mind to go kill, rape, rob, plunder, kidnap, capture. They have to create a psyche in their mind. They have to create a psyche in the minds of the people that support them to go ahead and do these things. So, of course, they have to reduce you down. Which, if we go to some of the black languages, guess what? They have the same type of talk about white folks to reduce white folks down so that they could do whatever they needed to do to white folks. Devils and blah, 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 blah. This is what humans do because humans intrinsically aren't unless something's wrong upstairs, but you don't think of kidnapping and cutting off people's heads and you don't think of doing all that kind of stuff. So you've got to condition yourself, condition your soldiers, then you've got to condition your supporters to go along with that kind of shit. But what are we doing in 2024? In 2024, we still listening to guys that's almost 400 pounds tell us some shit about science. Huh? Not on my watch. Y'all need to leave that community. Leave the temple and join the melanin versus diabetes. Let me show you. Let me show you something. Y'all need to leave that community. It's old. It's outdated. Join melanin versus diabetes. Let's take a look at this thing. Let's just do this. Let's just add this onto it. Let's just add this thing onto it because I know they don't know nothing about this. I'm surprised at KRS-ONE. I thought way better of KRS-ONE. I thought way more of KRS-ONE. But that's the epitome of surface level research. Literally at the surface. If you should go beneath the surface, if you go beneath the surface, guess what you're going to find? And let's not leave white folks out. If you go beneath the surface, you're going to find that black stuff that you just said don't exist in your video. Meanwhile, KRS-ONE, let's not act like I don't know. You putting that Beijing in your hair. You putting that Beijing in your hair so you could look like the young KRS-ONE. You know, the KRS-ONE that had the natural what kind of hair? The black hair. How does that hair get black if that's not a real thing? If that's not a real thing, how does that hair get black, sir? What's in that hair naturally, before it turned gray? What's in that hair, sir, that makes the hair black, the eyebrows black, the iris black? This stuff, this stuff. This stuff here? Black is not a construct. Unless you're talking about a genetic one. It's not an imaginary thing. It's the very reason that what I just showed you, this right here, this is the very reason that black folks are at the top of the line for cancer. Every form. Every form. And I know you say, oh, but the white folks get more skin cancer. Yeah, but we die more from skin cancer. So they catch skin cancer more. But guess what? Because their skin is light, not white, because they don't have the dark hue, guess what? They can see the black blotches and go right to the hospital and get that treated immediately. But with dark skin, oh, you don't get to see that until it's been there forever. It may be sometimes too late to treat. So look up the percentages on the death rate. We have a much higher death rate from skin cancer. So even skin cancer is whooping our ass. I know I told y'all 2024 I'm gonna be subduing my passions, but Damn it! Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Especially when these guys talking about nationality. They providing the accurate nationality. Negro, black, and colored. Oh, yeah. For anybody Negro, black, and colored, they mixing that in. And when you keep listening to them mix that in, Negro, black, and colored, you, uneducated, you don't know anatomy, you don't know genetics. Mind you, if you study anatomy, do you know the language that anatomy is in? Anatomy is in Latin. The language they supposed to know. Oh yeah. The language they supposed to know. And I guarantee you, homeboy that looked like he would gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today, I know for a fact he don't know Latin. Not that kind of Latin. So yeah, unless the Moorish American community is getting ready to start bringing in Dr. ENQI lessons, we're getting ready to put the pressure on the Moorish Temple of America. We're getting ready to put the pressure on them. We're going to start the Get Down or Lay Down program with them. The Get Down or Lay Down challenge starts with the Moorish Science Temple of America. If you don't start teaching the correct science in your temple, we're going to press you until you do, period. No stopping. We're getting ready to press the Moorish Science Temple of America to amend their program. Their whole program got to amend. Stop telling niggas that they not black. Period. Stop telling people that they've been colonized and then referring to the colonizer's language as source material. Either you got to say we never been colonized, and then that gives you the freedom to use whatever language you want as source material, or if you're going to stick with we've been colonized by the European, then you're going to have to stop using the European language as your source material. Because that means that you having some sort of what is that thing when you fall in love with your rapist? Yeah, they got some other shit going on, right? So one or the other. Take your pick. Amend your language over there. Say we were never colonized as a people. Therefore, we got the freedom to use any language as source material, reference material, whatever. Right? But then even in that space, you're still going to have to amend your conversation, because I know for a fact English is not the mother tongue of Moroccans or anybody from the quote unquote northwest corner of Africa, nor is it the mother tongue of any Native Americans, Olmecs, Aztecs, or otherwise. Cherokees, Navajo, Idaho, Ohio, you name it. Washita, Mound Builders, you name it. There's no Native American Indians or Native Americans, because we're not Indians. The Indians came with the Iroquois and the Pocahontas. There's no Native American people that were here before Europeans came where English was their language. Stop all them games. Black people dying every day. Black people living in bondage to the pharmaceutical companies. Big blabbermouth Dame Dash is a prime example. Prince, prime example. Michael Jackson, prime example. Money ain't getting you no freedom. Look at your man, Brother Polite. Where did his programs get him? Money is not getting you nowhere. Neither is kissing ass, being 2024 house niggas. Oh yeah, this is the source. This is the source. Source. Let's show your sources. That's my problem with guys like Jabari. Show your sources. Let me see what the scholars are saying. Who are the scholars? Oh, but we was colonized and they took over and colonized us and stole all of our material. So the guys that you claim stole your stuff is your source material also? Huh? What is happening to you niggas' ability to have critical thinking? We gotta stop this dumb shit. Look at this guy. You know what? I ain't even gonna pull him up again because I'm gonna keep taking. I'm gonna start. The shot's gonna get worse. The shot's gonna get worse. Stockholm syndrome. Leave it up to Freddie. See, y'all be telling me to stop with the, but then y'all like when I get worked up. Listen. When I seen KRS-ONE as their point man for this genocidal talk, when I seen KRS-ONE as the point man for this genocidal talk, I had to jump in. You got to stop with your surface level research. 2024, we have microscopes now. Now we have microscopes. We could go beneath the skin. We can do autopsies and look at the brain and see what controls the behavior. That same black stuff that's in your eyeball that allows you to see, that black stuff, yeah. We have the scientific journals, National Library of Medicine. The stuff that's in control of the AV node is that same black stuff. Let me show you what's in control of your heart before we get out of here. Let me show you what's controlling your heartbeat, Mr. We're Not Black. My man weighing in at almost 400 pounds. We got to stop this. We got to stop this madness. Now, if you're trying to beat your court case and calling yourself black in court doesn't work, no problem. If you got a court case, say whatever you need to say in court to get the best outcome. Do whatever you can live with. Right? Do whatever you can live with. But I'm getting ready to show you, for the record, what's in control of your heartbeat, sir. The reason why the quote-unquote not black people are leading with the heart disease is because you keep telling them they're not black. And so there's no emphasis on studying their actual genetics. They're just developing more hatred for it. More hate. More self-hate. Oh, wow. Pun intended. I didn't even realize what. More self-hate. Get it? More self-hate. Yeah. Let's get to this real quick and then we out of here. Let's get to this real quick and then we out of here. Okay, here we go. Here, no. Get a nice clear one. Bang. Yeah. Just so we could be clear on it before we get up out of here. You know, let's make sure somebody send this to KRS. Tell him to stop misrepresenting the Bronx. He's making us look stupid.
Yo, A.A. Rashid is with Griselda. Oh, it's about to time to start robbing niggas now. If I jack for life for them cars, you know how he go.
You see that? And that stuff right there, oh, that matches the tablecloth KRS-One had right there. That stuff that's in control of your essence, I can't even get it out. You know what it wants. Your SA and your AV node. Huh? That stuff. Oh, that matched the tablecloth right there. And that's in control of your heartbeat, champ. Yeah.
Yo, A.A. Rashid is with Griselda.
That stuff.
Oh, it's about to.
You know that stuff right there? That stuff. Yeah. The stuff that's at the back of your RPE. The stuff in the back of your eye that's allowing you to see any of these colors in the first place. You know that black stuff? That black stuff. Because see, you wouldn't even be able to have this conversation without that stuff. Let's make sure we go back and see what incited Dr. ENQI.
This brain learning about black, white, red, yellow in a colonial society. Your very vision doesn't even see the solution.
Did you hear what he said? He said colonial society. But again, all their sources is English. Then he used the term vision. Bro, you do not have vision. Yo, and I dare one of y'all to mention, oh, no, but we could visualize in our mind. That is very cocky. That's arrogant. Because everybody does not have the ability to visualize with their mind. Everybody does not have the ability to form pictures in their mind. Listen to what I'm telling you. Everybody, let's pull that up. Just so we on the same page. Let's pull that up. Everybody does not have the ability to visualize pictures in their mind. Can't believe I gotta do some of this stuff, bro. I really thought they better stop playing with me, bro. I don't know. Yo, you don't get to make wild, crazy statements no more. It's over. If you don't know science no more, you're going to have to start watching how you talk. You're going to have to watch your mouth as I'm out here. If you're not scientifically literate, you're going to have to watch your mouth because I'm out here. Aphantasia is when your brain doesn't form or use mental images as a part of your thinking or imagination. We're going to say that again. Aphantasia is when your brain doesn't form or use mental images as a part of your thinking or imagination. So everybody does not even have the ability to visualize. Right? We got to stop this madness. Look what Time Magazine says. Aphantasia, or what? What does that say? Mind blindness. Mind blindness refers to an inability to visualize imagery. What does Wiki say? Aphantasia is the inability to create mental imagery. The aphantasia network. What does Scientific America say? When the mind's eye is blind. Yo, nah, bro. I'm out here. I'm out here. You're going to have to watch your mouth.
The example is this.
Right, disturbing.
So now you in 5th and 6th grade learning about black, white, red, yellow in a colonial society. Your very vision doesn't even see the sun. Let me give you an example here. The example is this. Look at this. You see this? This is the color black. This. When I put my hand up against it, it don't match. Okay? It don't match. Take a look at me. And take a look at mine. Okay? Now this is talking about thinking.
A gorilla does not eat the food of a lion, but the black race eats the food of a lion.
I got 40,000 for an interview.
Damn.
I went to California last year. Right after the BET Awards, man. I was man, 40,000. Nigga, I did a 8-hour interview.
Faith and love. Love and faith. Faith and love. Love.
It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, you heard?